Hi everyone, welcome to the webinar. My name is Dana Stanley and I'm the Vice President of Marketing for Survey Analytics. Before I get started, I want to direct your attention to the GoToWebinar control panel. There's an area where you can submit questions, and we will have an opportunity to have Q&A at the end of the presentation. My colleague Greg Bender, who's the product manager for Media Bunker and is probably the most experienced person on our team with advertising research, will be available to answer your questions in addition to myself. So with that said, let's get started. Today we're going to be talking about ad testing, and specifically I'm going to talk about how to do ad testing on tablets and smartphones. First, I'm going to talk some about the traditional ways of testing ads, and then I'll talk a little bit about how testing ads on mobile devices is different. Now, as researchers, you know that there are advantages and disadvantages to every method. But testing ads on smartphones and tablets is definitely something new. And this webinar is really a chance for you to start thinking about how it might fit into your research programs. After that, I'm going to talk some about how our clients do ad testing here at Survey Analytics using a product we have called Media Bunker. So, what do we mean when we talk about ads? Ads can be created in a seemingly infinite number of formats. And these days, there's a lot of innovation about the way that ads are presented. One of the hottest areas, of course, is mobile advertising. When you think about it, nearly every ad will fit into one of three categories: video, audio, or static. Now, a video ad, of course, is like a traditional TV commercial or an online video increasingly these days. An audio ad is like a traditional radio commercial. And a static ad, usually you think of print advertisement found in an offline magazine, or really any number of images used for ads in an online or a mobile context. So ads come in diverse formats, and naturally they've evolved a number of different ways of testing them. Now, how about you? How do you get feedback on your ads? Maybe you're new to ad testing and you're not quite sure what's the best direction to go in. That's certainly fair. Well, let's take a look at the major ways people have traditionally tested ads. One way of testing ads is by putting them on a DVD, or in the old days, a VHS tape, and mailing them out to respondents to view on their own. Usually in that method, you include a written questionnaire, which the respondent is supposed to fill out on their own after they watch the video. Of course, this can be done using static ads as well. This type of ad testing using snail mail is still done, but I probably don't have to be the one to tell you that it takes quite a bit of time to conduct a study this way. And also, creating lots of copies of the ads and mailing them can also be expensive. So another way of testing ads is by getting a group of people together in a theater or auditorium. And you display the ads to them on a large screen. Sometimes respondents give moment-to-moment feedback while the ads are being shown, and other times they simply fill out a written or even an online questionnaire. Theater testing is in many ways an improvement over mail, but it's still expensive. And believe it or not, some ad testing is also done by phone. I've actually seen cases where researchers called respondents on the phone and read what was going to be said in a video ad. This can also be done for copy-intensive static ads, where audio ads can be read out loud, or either audio or video ads can be played over the phone. Now, this method isn't ideal because in most cases it doesn't really represent the actual ad. It represents really testing the message of the ad. Yes, you can play the audio of a video, or you can play the audio of an audio ad, but it's really, it still has some of the limitations that telephone surveys have. Of course, coverage with an increasing number of cell phone only households, and the expense of phone surveys. So this certainly has its limitations. Now, the other way of testing ads traditionally is online. Now, this is probably the most common method these days, and online ad testing has come a long way, but for some people, concerns do linger about issues like how the ads will be represented in different browsers, and the security of the ads, and just who the respondents are taking the surveys online. But now there's a new way. Up to now, there were limitations on our ability to test ads using tablets and smartphones, but not anymore. Now the floodgates are open. We'll be talking more about the specifics of how to test ads on mobile devices in a few minutes, but first I want to pose a question that really every good researcher asks when encountering a new methodology, which is why do it? Why test ads on mobile devices? Why not just do it the way it's already being done? I have a few answers to that question. My first answer is that increasingly it's a mobile world. A lot has changed in the past several years, and these little and sometimes not so little devices are everywhere. They're a huge part of our lives. Many of us, myself included, fall asleep with them close by and check them first thing when we wake up. Increasingly, they're the place where we encounter content, everything from watching quote unquote TV shows and movies on Netflix or Amazon to listening to audio content like radio shows, to listening to podcasts and, of course, music, and getting our daily news and information. So you know, if you step back and you think about it, you know this is the direction things are going. And many of you probably remember the resistance to testing ads online, which really lasted quite a few years, starting around 2000. Well, now the mobile revolution is here. Are you going to be one of the forward lookers, or are you going to be one of the foot draggers? My second answer to the question of why to test ads on mobile devices is that mobile ad testing holds some specific advantages over the methods that we discussed earlier. Now, unlike certainly mail, phone, and theater testing, mobile ad testing is fast. Now, online surveys are fast too, but mobile testing used to be slower than online testing. Now they're both very fast. As you'll see in a few minutes, it's simply a matter of uploading your stimuli and delivering them in a survey as quickly as you can download and configure an application. Another advantage of mobile ad testing of surveys is that you can test the reaction to the stimuli in the moment. It couldn't be simpler for the respondent to just view the stimulus and then move right into a follow-up question. In some cases, you can have respondents rate the video on a moment-to-moment basis, as is done in traditional dial tests or in a theater or an online survey. But you don't have to. A cost is another advantage. And I can tell you that mobile ad testing is comparable now in cost to online surveys and considerably more cost effective than the other methods discussed. So that's great news for researchers, and it's certainly great news for respondents. Now, so far, the mobile ad testing advantages that we've discussed are also advantages that apply to regular online surveys as well. So how do you decide between those? Well, here's where the roads start to diverge a bit. Now, while advancements have been made in the security of proprietary content in online surveys, there are still companies who just will not test ads online because they're not satisfied their ads won't fall into the wrong hands. In an online panel survey, you simply don't know who's viewing your ads and what sort of digital camera they might use to capture or other ways of capturing the content. Now, with mobile ad surveys, you have a choice. You can either do self-directed surveys as an online survey, or you can do interviewer-assisted surveys. And most of the mobile ad tests, I will tell you, that we're doing, particularly those using really sensitive materials, are done by interviewers who show the ad to the respondent and have them fill out the questionnaire on the mobile device. But the device never leaves the interviewer's possession. That's an important distinction because when you're talking security and you have really sensitive information, you want to make sure that it doesn't get into the wrong hands. And so this opens up ad testing to a whole new group of companies and a group of products that heretofore did not feel comfortable doing online surveys. The other thing is that if a mobile device is lost or stolen, kind of an obvious potential problem, there's a way to remotely wipe the device of the proprietary content. It's pretty cool. And it's something that you can't do with computers. Another distinction is accuracy. Respondents are experiencing the ad and then giving feedback at the precise moment when the feeling's fresh in their minds. I believe there's something about responding via touch with your own fingers that increases the level of engagement in survey taking relative to just pointing and clicking. Also, when you administer an ad survey on a tablet or smartphone, you can see the respondent and verify with your own eyes that they are who they say they are. You can pick up body language cues as well, and of course you can answer the questions the respondent might have. There's one more factor that I want to tell you about, and that's the cool factor. There's no denying that doing surveys on mobile devices is cool. It's convenient for the respondents, and we know that a key to quality data is lowering the burden on respondents. The cool factor also keeps your team interested and excited, and it certainly can't hurt to show your boss that you know about the latest way of testing ads. Speaking of bosses, what do you do once you've sold the powers that be on the concept of mobile ad testing and they give the go-ahead? Now they want to see you produce. You've sold them on tablet and smartphone testing of ads. How do you get it done? Well, don't panic. Now there's finally a way to get mobile ad testing done easily, securely, and quickly. It's called Media Bunker. It's a capability that we created here at Survey Analytics. Now, why bunker? Well, we know how critically important it is to keep your ads secure. And when we talked to our clients about what they were looking for in a mobile ad testing solution, the number one theme that came up was security. So that was the number one thing that we built into the application and what we wanted to deal with. So we designed Media Bunker to lock the media down, at the same time make it easy to run ad testing studies. So I want to beg your indulgence for a moment while I just give you a little bit of context. Now, Survey Analytics is an enterprise research software platform. You go in, you create your questionnaire, et cetera, and you can launch it in any number of different ways. Now, one of our products is a mobile field data collection application called Survey Pocket, which connects into Survey Analytics software. So you create your questionnaire in Survey Analytics, and then you serve it out to the iPads, Android tablets, and smartphones using Survey Pocket. Now, Media Bunker is an enhanced capability built on the Survey Pocket platform. So in order to use Media Bunker, you create the survey in the Survey Analytics platform, serve it to mobile devices using the Survey Pocket application, and then you use the Media Bunker functionalities within Survey Pocket. Now, if you're not so familiar with Survey Analytics, here's a brief display of some of the company we keep. And you see these are all firms that do a lot of advertising, and there are some research firms and agencies that deal a lot with advertising for sure. So how specifically is Media Bunker used to test ads? Well, it's pretty simple. First, you load your media assets securely onto the mobile devices. And the way you do that is you create a survey in Survey Analytics, and you connect the mobile devices that you're going to use in the survey with Survey Pocket. And each device has a device key. So you download the application onto the mobile devices, and then you enter a device key, which is unique for each device. Then any questionnaire that you designate that you've created in Survey Analytics can be sent out to the iPad or Android device or the smartphone. So the next thing you do is you upload the media into Survey Analytics, and then that's uploaded directly onto Survey Pocket, onto the remote devices. And once it's on there, it's locked down. It can be shown in the context of a survey, but you have total control through the Survey Analytics interface how it's going to be shown. So once the media is uploaded securely on those devices, they can be shown, and a survey can be done even when there's no internet connection. You present the media to your respondents and you gauge the reactions. And then you just upload the data back to your Survey Analytics account for once you do have internet connection. We've used the Survey Pocket application in very remote locations in developing countries. There's no internet connection needed. and you collect the data out in the field. And then once you do have an internet connection, you upload it, and then it connects directly back into that account where you can start analyzing it. Stepping back a moment, I would say, ads are designed to have emotional impact. So they really should be tested in the way that's the most intimate and really will get respondents to share their true reactions, because that's what you're looking for in ad testing. A little more on security. You may be asking, what happens if a mobile device with your media is lost or stolen, as inevitably will happen from time to time. We've taken care of that with something. It's a sort of a smart bomb type capability that gives you the ability to erase all of the media bunker data from a device if it escapes your control. And we call that capability Bunker Buster. It allows you to remotely delete your precious content with a single click. Now this view shows you just how easy it is to load your media files for a Media Bunker mobile ad test. This is a view of the Survey Analytics interface. And here I've clicked the Edit Survey tab at the top, and then along the left, I've clicked Media Bunker. And this is the screen I get. And you can see there's a file chooser, or you can drag and drop your file. And it supports multiple file types, including all the standard image, video, and audio file types. The file uploads right in front of your eyes, and then once the ad is in your media library, it's available to be used in any survey that you choose. Another nice thing is you get access to over 50 question types that are available in Survey Analytics and Survey Pocket to use for your Media Bunker ad test. You can use pretty much any question type you've used in other contexts when you're using Media Bunker. Now in this image, you can see we're adding a multiple choice question about our stimulus. And for this case, we've chosen the famous Apple Macintosh commercial inspired by George Orwell's novel 1984. And here you see that under display settings for the question, we have a drop-down list where you can attach any file that's been added to the Media Bunker repository. And you see it just add video, and you have a list of all your Media Bunker videos and your other Media Bunker files. You can also use a YouTube video if you choose. Now, when you run the survey using the Survey Pocket application on a smartphone or tablet device, the video renders securely as part of the survey. You don't have to have an internet connection for it to work. And here's an example of us showing the stimulus first and then asking the questions afterwards. So, on a smartphone, certainly you want to use all the screen space. We're rendering the stimulus here, and then after it finishes, there'll be some follow-up questions. Now, in this example, the researcher has chosen to have the respondent give a moment-to-moment slider rating as the commercial plays. We call this question type Tube Pulse. So in summary, Media Bunker is portable, it's secure, it's scalable, and it's available It's available out of the box. It gives you the ability to handle a wide range of media assets and work with over 50 different question types. It gives you virtually real-time feedback. Of course, you have to wait to upload the data until you have an internet connection. It gives you a complete suite of reporting and analytics on the back end. That's part of the Survey Analytics package. You get a dedicated account manager. It's available with one flat price, and I think not unimportantly, it's pretty cool. So that's the end of my presentation. Now we have the opportunity for you to submit some questions. I'm going to go ahead and check the GoToWebinar interface to see what questions you've submitted. Feel free to go ahead and submit some more. I also want to introduce my colleague Greg Bender, who's going to help me answer some of the questions. He's the product manager for Media Bunker. Sounds like we're getting a little echo there, Greg. Yep, so we'll go ahead and start answering some questions. I'm going to go ahead and start pulling them up. Okay, so one question is, do I understand then that this has to be done in person rather than remotely? Actually, no. You can do it remotely. It takes a little bit more preparation, but it's not like doing a a panel survey where you're going out to thousands of people indiscriminately because they're part of a panel and it's just being rendered in a browser. You could do it remotely, but you would have to have SurveyPocket installed on the devices, and each of them would have to have a device key. So, so one example, one use case is in a kiosk. We actually have something called kiosk mode, where the iPad can be locked down and people can have access to it. Um, Passersby. But it's locked down. People can't take it away, and they can't change what app you're on and surf and go to games and that sort of thing. So, Greg, if there's anything else you want to add on that, just let me know.
No, I mean, I think, Danny, you're perfect. I think that people could use the online tool if they want to present the media, but in terms of this presentation and what we're talking about, you nailed it exactly. Kiosk mode, you could have people rate the content as they chose to.
And the next question is there the possibility of using the participant's device? Greg, what do you think?
Sure. This will work on either Android or iOS devices. They would have to have current software. They would download the application from the appropriate store, and you would have to provide them with the device key and password. They synchronize, and it should work fine. Absolutely.
Okay. Next question is, how do you do moment to moment? Greg, do you want to go ahead and describe Tube Pulse?
Yeah, that's just a setting when you're setting up the question type. You can do moment to moment, or you can do question and queue. So moment to moment is just the content will continue to play, and you're literally going to move the slider back and forth, and when you look at the data, you're going to see the timestamp next to each rating. You can also have it stop the content when you move the slider, and you can actually put in verbatim. So you can do it either way. It's right in the question type. It's very simple to do.
Okay, next question is, what is the one flat price? And my answer is that it depends. We do have flat pricing, so you can do as many surveys and as many responses as you want, but there are some factors that affect pricing. So on the screen here is our contact information. Hate to be wishy-washy, but I do need to punt that over to our sales team. You can contact them at sales-team@surveyanalytics.com. And the 800 number is there. I'm don't want to turn this into a sales pitch, but if you do want to get in contact with us, please use that information. And you certainly can reach out to me as well, and my contact information is right on there as well. The next question. Let's see. Media Bunker must have the researcher present with Survey Taker. SurveyPocket is software that attaches video to survey to be sent out to survey takers. No, let me try it. Sorry, it can be a little confusing. We do have the different product names and everything, and just to let me attempt to explain a little more clearly how the things fit together. So we have Survey Analytics, which is where you program the surveys and where you do kind of quote unquote regular online surveys. If you want to do mobile surveys and you want to do them on mobile devices out in the field, you can use SurveyPocket. And SurveyPocket is an app downloaded via either the iOS store or the Apple store or the Android, the Google Play store, and it's rendered effectual by entering a unique code for each device. It doesn't have to be used in mobile field with mobile field interviewers, although that is the most common use case. But you certainly could have respondents. You could send them the instructions for entering the device key, and you could do it that way. And then Media Bunker is the capability within SurveyPocket that allows you to render the videos and incorporate them into the survey in a way that's 100% secure. How do you find the proper respondents? Well, that's Greg, you can chime in on this too, but that's unique to every study. but perhaps a few examples might be helpful. One use case is if you want to be at a central location where there are people walking by and you want to get feedback on a video, you could certainly have the interviewers interview them, show them the ad on the device, and then enter their answers. Or they could hand the tablet device over to the respondents, and the respondents could enter the answers themselves, just depending on the methodology of your study. Um, Another use case would be if you're an ad agency and you wanted to get feedback from selected clients, and you want to get their quantitative ratings from you wanted there might be, you're an agency and there are 10 different people at your client's office that you want to show the ad, and then have them answer certain quantitative questions. You could use it that way. Okay, what other emotions can you measure besides happy and sad faces? So we have the happy and sad faces pre-programmed in, but certainly people use uh, textual descriptions of emotions. You can have a scale, as in any research project. You can have, you know, uh, you can have boring to exciting, or any continuum that you wish. And certainly if there are other emoticons that would be useful in a survey, we'd love to talk to you about it. Okay, next question is, why do I need Survey Pocket to use Media Bunker? The answer is Survey Media Bunker is a capability built within Survey Pocket. Greg, this is a question for you. Is it Microsoft compatible?
If you're looking at Microsoft tablets or
I think that's what
phones
they
at this
mean.
point,
Yeah.
yeah, Survey Pocket right now only runs on iOS or Android devices. There just has not been enough development in the Microsoft world to support that. However, talk to sales. We're open to talk.
Okay. Let's see. For mobile ad testing, aren't the screens considered quite small for viewing compared to laptops, TV screens, or even iPads? I guess I'm inferring that what the person means is on smartphones. Yeah, and that's a trade-off. I mean, you can use it on smartphones, you can use it on tablets. That's really up to you. This is a tool, and what we're trying to do is give you some insight into how our customers are using this tool. But certainly, probably every client we have uses it a little bit differently, and that's great because it's another tool for you as a researcher to use, um, depending on what you're trying to do.
And Dana, one comment to that is most laptops are not high def. I will say that about the iOS devices, the high def and the new Android tablets. Almost all of them are high def capable. So the resolution that you can provide on the tablets in a lot of cases is much higher than you're going to get in an LCD display, a laptop, or projecting it. I mean, that's been my experience so far. You are dealing with smaller real estate, but you're dealing with higher quality resolution.
Okay, next question. Are you aligned with any sample suppliers that have already recruited a mobile panel using your platform? Well, there is a company called QSample, which is a sister company of ours, but we certainly work with them, and we work with other sample providers as well. So we'd be happy to discuss, your specific needs. Next question, can you expose more than one stimulus, and can you rotate the order? Greg.
By exposing the stimulus, you're talking about multiple videos? Absolutely.
Yes,
You can,
yes.
there really is no limitation. The limitation becomes, depending on the content size, it's going to take a little longer to synchronize. You can have a lot of content on the device. You could rotate. We could work on that. You could definitely have some questions that would control the order in which they play. So yes, I believe we could meet that need. In content, it's just how long are you willing to synchronize the device ahead of time to get the content onto it? So yeah, I don't see any of that as a limitation.
Okay. Um, Next question. How do you measure a range of emotions moment for moment during the duration of the video? Well, that's really in the study design. I mean, we have the moment to moment capability. And in the example we show, we have the happy face and this frowny face, but those that polarity can be anything you want it to be. Um, I don't know. I can't think of a way where you could try to measure multiple emotions simultaneously. I think you would have to, have them watch it several times and measure the different constructs one at a time. But that's how the tool works, and you can set it up in a number of different ways. Here's a question I'm going to direct to you, Greg. Can you describe in more detail the locked kiosk?
Sure. Locked kiosk allows you to, so if you have a device, let's say you have an iPad and it is a secure kiosk, which would be something that has, so will stop it from walking away, and you can lock down the hardware keys, the home button, the power button, the volume buttons. What we do is we give you a tool that allows you to lock the application onto the screen. And it stops people from getting into any of the settings, the application settings. There may still be some hardware settings depending on the kind of hardware you're using that you need to do. For example, on an iPad, you need to turn off multi-gesture motions. It's better to use guided access to really physically lock down the hardware. What this does, though, it locks down access to the application settings so that someone can't go in and change things, delete your device keys, etc. So it just allows you to control an unattended device collecting data.
Yeah, that's a really novel application, and that's one that's being used very successfully by several of our clients. It's really cool stuff. Can you use this globally, i.e., Chinese characters?
Yes. We'll support pretty much any major language. The application will support that. You can set that at the device level, and the only thing is you've got to program whatever survey and questions in that language. I don't offer automated translation, but I do support pretty much every language set.
Is there a limit to the number of devices used simultaneously? Maybe more than one site with an ongoing survey. So is
Yeah.
there a limit to the number of devices that can be used simultaneously?
Now, I have clients literally right now with greater than 1,000 devices deployed around the world. So there's no limitation.
Looks like that's the end of our questions right now. I'll give you another few seconds to submit any other questions. And appreciate it. There's been some really great questions, but let's see if there are any others. I guess not. Well, thank you for your time. Appreciate it, and appreciate your time, and I've really enjoyed it. Thanks for coming.